that Jahangir household is literally up in flames. Whatever could go wrong with the kids have been going wrong. Um, Possibilities of disaster, and then giving us that there could be positive outcome of that as well. Hello, everyone. This is Sunny from Dramalogue, and I'm back with another review. And this time, the focus is the last two episodes of Parwarish. Oh man, what a show! The last two episodes had so much happening that I thought that I absolutely have to discuss this with all of you. In the last episode or so, we saw that Jahangir household is literally up in flames. Whatever could go wrong with the kids have been going wrong. Starting with Wali, Wali gets shot in a failed burglary or robbery attempt to steal his mobile. He refused to hand over the mobiles to the robbers, and in the process, he gets shot and left bleeding at the side of the road. Ania, on the other hand, discovers that her mom knows the truth about her. She knows about her suicidal videos, etc. And so she, in a state of panic, tries to hurt herself again in front of the whole household. And this is when the whole household comes to know about what Ania's mental state is. And then we see Samir in trouble. Samir, after being warned by his own friend about not to go to this party, decides to go to the party, and in the party he's forced to take drugs and he gets drugged. And there's a raid in the party, the cops get everybody together and they also arrest Samir. So this is a night that I don't think the Jahangirs will ever forget. Um, on Maya's end as well, Maya happens to be on the call with Wali when he gets shot in the robbery attempt. And so Maya actually hears the whole thing unfolding on the other end and absolutely loses herself. She is in tears. She's wailing for Wali. She is trying to get to Wali in the middle of the night, and her parents get to witness all of it. And they were able to calm her down, and actually she falls unconscious in the process. But the parent, for the first time, they get to see the extent of Maya's feelings for Wali, and they were also shocked that things have gone this far. So this in all the kids and all the youngsters in this show, we see that all of their characters are now in grave trouble, right? But that was the last but one episode when all of this happens. And in the last episode, we see how all of these gets resolved one after the other. So I'm going to talk about how things got resolved with each of these characters first, and then we're going to go into what I liked and what I didn't like. So let's take Wali's case. Wali got shot and left on the street. Maya's family was able to reach out to the mentor and let him know that this has happened. And he finally traces Wali to a hospital where he has been taken to, and the doctors have started treating him with a surgery. He apparently got shot in his leg and has been bleeding profusely. So, with the mentor's help and the amount of financial support he provides, Wali receives the treatment. The mentor then reaches out to Wali's family and lets them know that that the current situation of Wali is, where he is and what has happened to him. So we see the mom, the grandpa, and the uncle rushes to the hospital to look after Wali. Back home, we see Ania. She had fallen unconscious, and when all this thing happened with Wali, and so when she wakes up, she sees that her mom is not around, and she comes to the conclusion that her mom has also left her. So finally, with a lot of effort, they were able to convince her that no, mom has had to be with Wali because he fell sick and had to be hospitalized. That's the only reason she's not around. It has nothing to do with her. And then when Samir's situation gets into the fore and the family gets to know about it, the father rushes to the police station along with his police friend to release Samir. Samir gets beaten up by the cops and who kind of reprimands him for drugging himself at an age where they should be studying and are not attending parties and definitely not doing drugs. So he comes to the realization, although he's under the influence of drugs, but we see that Samir has realized his mistake and he's very scared that what is going to happen when his parents get to know about it. So when his father comes to the station police station to kind of like take him back home. Initially, he's very scared and is unable to move also. But we see the dad, he kind of like, forgoes everything and immediately hugs him and, quite peacefully brings him back home. Back home, the mom is first concerned that if the cops had beaten him or if he's hurt, and then he also slaps him hard for lying to her and for doing such a thing. But we see that Samir's dad intervenes and tells the family to back off and kind of extricates Samir from that situation. And then later on, he tells the family that stuff like this always happened with the youngsters, and there's no reason to exaggerate the matter or talk more about it. I'm sure he has realized his mistake, and it will not be repeated. And it will definitely help if the family doesn't talk about it either. So we see this uncle who kind of plays God in this case, and then protects his son, and by that he tries to protect the family. And this also helps Ania to come to a realization because she overhears all this conversation. She draws a parallel between her and Samir's case. Back in US, she had also drugged herself, and definitely her dad and mom did not react the way Samir's parents are reacting. They blamed her, or she thought they blamed her because they immediately, packed lock, stock, and barrel and moved to Pakistan, and she had to go through all this trauma, and she felt that all of this is her fault. But here you see that when Samir does a similar mistake, the father protects him and actually kind of like makes it very normal that kids in this age go through these kind of things. It's no point being extra harsh on them, and it's not their fault because परवरिश घर पे जरूर होती है, but बाहर भी they get a lot of influence. They get influenced by their friends, others that they interact with, and mistakes do happen. So it's okay. So, for the first time in her life, Anya learned that it's okay to commit a mistake like this and it's not the end of the world. So, you see that maybe Anya got her closure as well. So, this is how all of the tracks gets their, sort of happy ending, you know, quite quickly and easily. And in Wali's end, we get to know why Wali did not want to hand over the phone because he thought this was something that his grandpa gave him and he wanted to protect it with all his might. Um, and then when the grandpa said that, why don't you move back with us? Enough is enough. Been through a lot. You've proven yourself that you're capable of living alone, but now it's time for you to come back home, maybe. Wali refuses, saying that I still haven't made a name for myself. I'm still not. I haven't discovered myself. So I will definitely come back home when I know who I am. So we see that the family kind of understands that and lets him be or take his own decision here. So I felt like Parvarish kind of exposed all the problems and like gave us this heart attack sort of in one episode, and then next episode suddenly we found all the cures. Everything settled down and found all the cures. So it was a quick peak and a quick ebb for all the things that we have been seeing, all the build-ups that we have been seeing over these few episodes so far. Similarly, in Maya's end, a similar story. We had seen that Maya's dad was a very dominating dad, very orthodox person, and now suddenly we see a change of heart there. We see that he has not only mellowed down, but he has started understanding Maya, and he has started understanding that being too harsh with her, with a person of her age group, can cause more detrimental effects than any good. And he's scared of losing his daughter. So although he got to know that Maya is in love with Wali, and it's like a junooni kisam ka pyar hai un dono ke beech mein, and which he was not aware of. Instead of reprimanding Maya, which we expected him to do, he kind of takes a step back and he says, like, at this point, we just have to support her. I can't do it openly. So he asks their mom to support them and says that, we just have to support her and let him go through this phase, because if we do anything other than this, she might, take drastic measures like running away from home or committing suicide, and none of it I'm willing to accept, right? So we see a very, understanding and a mature dad now at Maya's end. And again, magically, he transforms into this really, good parent. I don't know how all of this is happening. Everything is just falling in place for this family, although everything was up in flames. Back at home, in Wali's home as well, with the simple conversation between Salman and her mother about Samir's case, the mother, the grandma also comes to the realization that, we were wrong. This is not how it should be, and maybe we should be thinking about Parwarish in a different way altogether. Things don't happen like that. In reality, if you can be shot fatally if you're trying to resist a burglar or a robber, right? So things don't happen like that. In reality, oftentimes if it's a shoot if you're a shooting victim, patients are not treated immediately unless there's some guardian present and paid the initial fees, or the cops have gotten involved. So Wali getting the treatment immediately is again a strike. I felt like a stroke of luck. Similarly, Ania, who had reached a point of like she's wielding a knife and she's about to hurt herself, just conveniently falls unconscious and then wakes up, you know, fine, sort of fine. And nobody makes an attempt to find medical help for her or continue with the supervision of her or take her to the doctor as well. And she just simple conversation between Salman and their grandma about Samir's case healed her. I mean, I don't think patients who have gone to that level, to that degree of depression, suddenly sees something like this and gets healed. Similarly, Samir's case, Samir had actually um, made a big mistake. Like he not only lied to his parents, but he also attempted drugs and he came under the influence of his friends. Yet the father did not have any conversation with him, or we didn't get to see any conversation between him and his dad. Yes, you understand that the kid has already got it. Yes, the kid is already ashamed, but कहीं ना कहीं तो कोई तो कन्वर्सेशन होनी चाहिए ना कि ये सही नहीं था. Instead of just saying कि like ऐसा होता है, इसके बारे में बात करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, whatever, he's already understood his mistake. ये normal नहीं है and होना भी नहीं चाहिए. There is definitely, the kid already knew that this was wrong, and yet he kind of went ahead and committed those mistakes, right? So a reiteration, parental reiteration of those lessons might have been important. And it would have been important to show कि like the dad at least addresses that and says कि like मुझे पता है कि तुमने realize कर लिया है, पर मेरी जिम्मेदारी है कि मैं दोबारा तुम्हें ये समझाऊं कि ये गलत हुआ है and इसको दोबारा नहीं होनी चाहिए, right? So that was my, as I was watching Parvarish, I was like, यार चीज़ें बहुत ही कन्वीनियंटली सॉल्व हो जा रही है इन लोगों के लिए, हालांकि ये सारी चीज़ें काफ़ी खतरनाक अंजाम दे सकती थी. But khair, I mean, we are watching a show, and it's okay that we want to feel positive, and so it's good that they are giving us, possibilities of disaster, and then giving us like there could be a positive outcome of that as well. So it's good. It's a good show. It's nice to watch, but it's losing its impact gradually on the audience. That's my opinion about it. Please share your opinion in our in the chats and our comments. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Till then, keep listening. Bye bye.